And here we are. Welcome back to the drawing board with my good friend Kenny Calderone. You with me, butter?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy New Year.
It is 2025. We're rocking and rolling. Here we are.
We're back.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
We
So
are
what's
back.
happening? What is happening?
Man, a bit of everything. A bit of everything.
Well,
You know, I do have some very exciting things lined up this year. You know, I have to say, can't really talk about too much of them right now,
yeah.
right? But stay tuned. With it's gonna be a crazy rollout, and it's only Q1. I got some shows lined up. I got some workshops, some events lined up. Some new things hitting the printing press. Very exciting.
That's awesome. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you. And also, our show is something where Kenny and I sort of get together each week, and we bust out a bit of a drawing challenge. And we've got some different things coming this year. This theme is Master Universe. We've been riding this horse for a while, and we're looking to trying to progress it along. And we have had a little bit of an interim. We had a bit of a breather where Kenny and I were both sort of wrapped up in doing other work, which had to take priority. But the whole point of this show is that we are constantly practicing and honing what we do, and it's just about getting together and having a bit of fun too, and draw along with us. We encourage it. We love the interaction. And in saying that, I'm just going to bring up onto our little main stage there our list, the magical list, which I haven't looked at in a while. So we're at Tila at the moment. So we've got Zodak next, Evil Lynn. So we've got a few good ones. Faker, Many Faces.
Yes.
Faker's going to be good fun.
Oh yeah.
Ram Man, Trapjaw, and Triclops. And that'll finish our first run on the Masters of the Universe, which is exciting. And then we'll be on the tier 2. So let me have a look at, here's our refresher page, our inspiration page, where we looked at the original interpretations of Tila. You can see that little drawing in the middle was the original concept design by Mark Taylor. And that was before the toys came out. He designed the look of Tila. But then you can see all of our other iterations. We've got the sideshow figures, we've got the mini comics, animation, and the old back of the card illustration, which I love, that one on the left. Any thoughts on those, Kenny, now that you're back in the saddle and refreshed with looking at what Tila looks like?
I do love the different interpretations of the character. I think that the only one that sort of feels like, I guess, a departure or the one that like stands out is the one from the mini comics. Like I feel like that's the only one that kind of is a departure from the toy designs and the statues and sizes.
Yeah, you mean the one with the cobra wrapped around her, the armor? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, I mean the blonde.
Oh yes, the one down the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Laying across the stone floor. Yeah. The one on the far right, I guess, is what I see as Tila. There's a sideshow.
Right.
That, to me, that epitomizes the Tila from the animation and what she became in the mini comics, I guess. But yeah. So in knowing that and going back to our drawings, and I literally have not looked at mine until this morning, so I pulled it out.
Neither have I.
Yes. So how do you feel about it now you've had a bit of time away from it?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I think, I'm pretty sure you can kind of co-sign this. In the time away, I've like explored some new techniques, some new ways of expressing like the paint on the canvas, and I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of try those little techniques out on Tila.
Yep. So what's your priority today? Is it to get it finished? Is it to explore those techniques, or what's your thing?
Well, what I think I'm going to do today is I'm going to drop a sort of like cool green in the background.
Right.
I'm going to pull this out just a bit so we can see the whole thing there. I'm going to drop a cool green into the background because I wanted to make it feel like she's in a dense sort of like swampy kind of forest.
Nice. Yep.
Right. To kind of coincide with the tree root here with the moss and such. So I'm gonna do a mix of some blue, some deep marine blues, some forest greens, so it feels lush and green, and then I'm gonna get into the foreground today.
Nice. Okay. When I've been watching your gouache sort of develop over time, which has been awesome. And so, how do you feel? What do you feel are your gouache goals for this year coming?
To do larger pieces. So I actually have this on my queue to paint this year. I'm going to be painting a Saint Michael, an image of Saint Michael on a 16 by 24.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Big boy.
Yeah.
And I want to like vlog it, right? So it's good. So because it's going to be one of my largest like paintings ever, and I'm going to do it in gouache.
Nice. Yeah.
To kind of like dip the toe into doing, more fine art.
Yes.
Dipping
the toe. Yeah.
Dipping the toe a little bit into the realm of like more fine art. And it was a family friend that commissioned it.
Yeah.
And I figured, this is as good excuse as any to get in there and kind of break that fear, get over that fear of like working so big with such a tricky medium.
Well, and it is when you're working in large scale. I mean, how big are you talking?
Oh yeah, it's 16 by 24. So it's it's a pretty. So think of like a standard portfolio bag.
Yeah. It's
that big.
Yeah.
16 by 24. It's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's about the size. Yeah.
Might have to introduce a few little things like airbrush.
Yeah. No, dude. Like I have some spray cans left over from the canvas that I painted for another one of my clients. I did a graffiti piece for that client, and like I did a combination of spray paint with some acrylic.
Yeah.
It came out great. So I still have some of those, for larger areas, but so one of the recent things that occurred late last year was I started assisting in the portfolio prep program at the studio.
That's right. I remember you saying that. Yep.
So, I've been, helping a lot of the kids kind of prepare for their auditions to get into magnet schools and art high schools and colleges.
Yeah, that's good.
And a lot of that has opened my eyes to how I paint.
Yeah.
Right. And up to recent months, I realized that painting is very different from coloring.
Yeah.
Like the way you express form with paint is very different, right? Like the way I've been doing it up to this point, I've been like coloring the same way I would color with like colored pencil or marker, right?
Yeah.
But it's a different animal entirely when you're painting and working with a paint medium.
Right, and I think too, just it's that mindset of just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's the letting go of the idea of I have to control this like a pencil.
Yes.
And treating it like a fluid medium that's on a different surface. So, I mean, I know gouache. Gouache is really the bridge between drawing and painting. It always has been.
Yes.
That's why it's been a preferred medium by illustrators for generations. But when you start working larger, you really appreciate that because you're using larger brushes. I mean, I just finished an oil painting too of a portrait of someone, and it had been a while since I did oil, and you just you remind yourself, well, let it be a painting. If it's going to be a bit looser and a bit broader in brush strokes, and that's the way it is, because that's what painting is. It doesn't have to be so tight all the time.
Exactly. And and it was through that, through working with the kids and helping them sort of like work through their paintings is where I realized that a lot of painted works are meant to be appreciated at a distance.
That's right.
Kind of like at arm's length. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like these are more illustrative, right? So we can appreciate these relatively close to the face. But when you're looking at any one of the classic works, they have you stand at a distance for a reason.
Absolutely. Well, it's the 3 meter rule. It's like illustrations invite you in.
Yes.
Invite you to be close because they're meant to be read that way, like in print media.
Yes.
But a painting is always got to be viewed at a distance. You have that 3 meter on a wall kind of effect or a gallery.
Yes.
Which is why that great encouragement of students and a reminder to ourselves to get out of the chair and walk back from it all the time, to stop being that armchair artist.
Yes.
Is always encouraged, always.
Man, and I'm so thankful that like I was able to like have this experience, because I think I would have been stuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Doing things the same way, and it's like we need that exposure, that to continue the journey.
Yeah, you need a challenge, for sure.
So that opened my eyes up like heavily. So now it's like I'm approaching painting in a completely different way.
Yeah. I think the card work too. I mean, that's been a big help for me, is that it made me speed my process a bit more. Because you can't, what it's like, you can't muck around with time with those things. Like you really are on the treadmill of just going hard and trying to get it done. You've got time frames for each piece, and you got to stick to it.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, right? You want to progress as an artist. You want to grow, challenge yourself. That's what it's always been about.
Yes, absolutely. Actually,
let's get this green going.
So tell me about your palette.
You know what? My palette is absolutely filthy. My palette is absolutely filthy. I'm like waking up some colors right now.
Mine was the same. I came back to the studio and saw you had jumped on, but I hadn't seen you jump on because I was out there scrubbing the palette with the hose outside in the grass trying to get it ready. Because it was so bad. There were so many layers.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't really like rinse it off. I keep it there. I mean, because gouache is something you can always wake up.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it does reactivate. It reactivates well, but sometimes that's the worst part, is that you get muddy colors sometimes.
Yeah. And that's and believe it or not, I got some muddy tones right here.
Yeah.
right? And I'll use a lot of those muddier tones for background stuff.
Yes.
Or if I want to like pull textures, like if I'm like for example, today I'm going to be doing this tree. If I want to pull some like darker, muddier sort of like details out of the tree bark, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't have to tell you, and I don't have to tell some of those watching right now that art materials are expensive. So you know, you wanna make do with what you got.
And they're not getting cheaper. I went down and bought some acrylic paints the other day because I'm starting to do acrylics for my covers.
Yeah.
And not cheap. It's stung.
No.
It's stung. I'm like, whoa, really? Acrylics?
No. That's why whenever like Jerry's, right? Jerry's Artorama is a big like art supplier down here.
That's a great name, Jerry's Artorama.
Yeah, Jerry's Artorama, and they always have deals going on, especially if you're an educator.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. And then there's always a Blick. Blick is also a big supporter of like education when it comes to art.
Right.
But Jerry's is kind of like walking into a Costco.
Right. Okay, we do.
Right, but it's like it's a wonderland of just art stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you can walk into a Jerry's and like get lost.
You lose everything.
You know, because
because
they have everything, and
Yes.
it's like it's literally wall to wall. Anything that you could possibly need or use to create art, they got it in there.
I'll have to put it on the visit list when I come to the States next.
Yeah,
Go to
dude.
Jerry's.
Because it's like like for example, a couple years ago, I was painting a mural at a skate park,
Right.
and I'm wondering, like, man, do I have to go to like a Home Depot or to like a Lowe's to go get like spray paint? Because there's an actual paint shop like that sells spray paint for graffiti purposes, but it's in Wynwood. It's in like downtown Miami. Right,
So they produce it for that, like the nozzles and stuff that be slotted.
Yes, like it's a actual like graffiti shop where they got like grease markers, and
Nice.
it's another type of wonderland in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, where am I gonna be able to kind of get paint that I'm gonna need for this mural, because it was a pretty decent sized wall.
Yeah.
And I saw that Jerry's had them. So I go to Jerry's, and it was the first time I walked into a Jerry's, and I'm like, oh man, this is my new spot. It's like, do you remember the feeling of an impromptu visit to Toys R Us as a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
It was 100% like that.
It's corridors of amazingness.
Oh, everything, dude. They had it was like 2 aisles of just sketchbooks. You know, it was like 2 aisles of just sketchbooks.
That's incredible.
Moleskin, leather bound. It was just,
and if you know, you know. Like if you
exactly. And it was another 2 aisles of just brushes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, man.
I'm
getting a bit emotional thinking about it.
Oh man, dude, it's like, and then to top it all off, they offer like this like membership program.
Yeah, stop
Right?
it, Jerry. Stop it, Jerry.
They offer this membership program where you get a crazy discount on anything you buy.
Yeah, right.
So it's almost like buying the art materials wholesale.
Yeah.
Then I literally bought something close to about $250 worth of like paint, markers, acrylic markers. I walked out of it like loaded up for like the full mural, right?
Yeah. And bro,
I spent I spent $120.
Wow, dude. Yeah.
and I had paint that left over.
Yeah.
Okay, like I had paint left over, like I overshot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I had a joke then, but I didn't want to take us off the rail too soon because it's clearly I'm getting the blame for that. So I'm trying to be better behaved. All right,
of course,
Chris,
you know, New Year's resolutions and such.
No, that sounds amazing. I wonder if they do online. Jerry does online, maybe.
Yeah, they do online. They 100% they do online. 100%. Jerry's Artorama. And then, yeah, they're fantastic, man. Fantastic. That like we went to shop for my son for Christmas, right? Because Dominic has been he's been drawing more.
Good.
Right, and you know he was here over the last summer, and
Yes.
I taught him how to ink a little bit. I showed him, you know, the difference between drawing pencils, like the B's and the H's, you
Nice.
know, and I gave him like a little sketchbook that I personalized for him, and you know, every so often he'll call me up and he's like, "Hey, Dad, let me show you what I drew this week," and he's, you know, he's on it. So for Christmas, we went and we got him some sketchbooks that he could kind of like travel with, right? And a set of Posca pens because he's been eyeballing my set.
Yes.
And he loves that. The
Slowly
Posca.
they're disappearing off the table.
Oh yeah, he loves the Posca pens. Chris Borman.
Captain Chris Borman is back. Yes, it is us, Chris. We have returned.
Indeed.
We're back.
Indeed.
We're back. Yeah, the Posca pens are fun. They're tricky in the classroom though because they stain everything. They're a bit rough on the tables, but they're good fun.
Yeah, he's been customizing the paint on his Beyblades with the Posca pen.
Yeah. Nice one. We do a unit in high school where I teach the kids how to paint surfboards.
Oh, nice.
And the Posca pens are great for that because you buy the surfboards or the skateboards in raw timber.
Yes.
And then you put the Posca pens over it and then just spray a varnish at the top at the end. Yeah, It's nice. They work really well with that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because
so then the other thing that I'm gonna be getting into is doing some clay work.
Ooh, nice. Bit of sculpting.
Yes, a bit of sculpting. I got the recommendation from one of the girls at the studio.
Yep.
Right, because one of the girls that we were working with, right, for the portfolio, one of the requirements was doing a 3D work.
Right.
So I asked what type of clay they were using because they did this really beautiful piece where she designed this beautiful piece where it's like two fish sort of swimming, but it was like in like an S kind of shape with the wave. It was beautifully sculpted, right? But I noticed that it wasn't like the typical like heavy gray clay that we typically have at the studio. This one was a bit whiter.
Right.
It was paper clay.
Oh, I know paper clay. Yes, it's air drying. Yeah.
Yes, it's air drying. You know, a little bit of wet, like a little bit of water, kind of wakes it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You can paint it. It's, you know what I mean, like
you can get some very in sort of details with that too, which is nice.
Yes, and like she gave me a great recommendation on some sculpting tools.
Yep.
So, yeah, you know what I'm gonna be asking for come Valentine's Day.
Jerry voucher.
Exactly. You know, and like I'm planning some cool things to kind of sculpt with my son when he comes down for for like break.
Yeah,
Kind of
No.
keep them occupied.
it is a nice it's a nice introduction to sculpting paper clay because it's easy and it's cheap.
Yeah.
It doesn't sort of cost you too much, and it does sort of lead you towards using Sculpey and things like that later on, like polymer clays. But it's a nice introduction to that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's it's been a year of discoveries.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love it.
What about you on your end, sir?
In terms of art goals, so this year it's just getting things ready for the table. So as I said to you before,
Yep.
On our little side messages, it's just trying to get things printed and published.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I want to sort of wrap a few things up and get a few things in the books. So that'll be good. Getting ready for some convention appearances and things like that.
Love it.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, it's for me, it's just pushing the mediums a bit more than I have. So, it was nice to bring oils back into my life again. So doing oils and acrylics, some larger pieces. And it makes the cover process much quicker because I can whack in backgrounds without worrying about cornflaking the paper, because I've transitioned to canvas paper for the covers, which is good. So it's just changing it up a bit with things like that. And I think just setting some good solid project goals rather than medium goals. Like I'm still, I'm doing a bit of casting experimentation. So looking at I'm trying to have a play with doing some concrete casting.
Oh wow!
So doing some large sort of sculptures for the yards and things like that. So we're doing a bit of research around that.
Nice.
Because that's fun. But yeah, so things like that. The gouache and the oils and acrylics will always be there as my little as my gateway to creating stuff, and especially on our live streams and the trading cards and stuff like that. So that's good fun. But it's just looking at the avenue at the other end of what I do with it. So trying to get some things into print and posters and stuff. Like build the Etsy shop up,
Yes.
So that's been good. Yeah, that's keeping it simple, I think, at the moment for me. But that's the plan.
That's good. I mean, I feel like this is the year to really expand the repertoire.
Yeah.
Kind of do some different stuff and break out of the mold. You really like. I'm just reaching the point where like now I'm getting comfortable working in gouache and in watercolor. So I want to try working bigger.
Right.
So that from there, I can, kind of build up the nerve to work in a different medium in that side.
Yes.
That I may try oil, because like oils, like it's always intimidated me a bit.
Yeah, it does that. Yep. It does. It's a very humbling medium.
That it is.
You start doing, you think, oh, it's kind of like the difference of like with gouache and things that are close to drawing. Like it's almost like you can roller skate with this stuff reasonably well.
Right.
With oils, you're ice skating. It's like way different, and even though your drawing and your knowledge of how things bend, twist, and turn stay the same,
right?
It's really like painting with butter. Like it's a way different feeling when you're painting with the medium. This not like gouache is, you're adding a little bit of water to it. It's very careful. Oils is a way different creature, and with gouache it's kind of drying as you're going, so we can kind of just keep to sort of controlling it and adding it and slowly. And if it makes a mistake, it's dried in a couple of minutes. We can go over it again and reactivate it. With oils, it's you put stuff down, it's down there for a few weeks to dry, like it's there, So especially winter time takes forever for it to dry between layers, which has its benefit too. Like it's you can move things around 2 days later, like it's still wet, So it's just a different beast, but yeah, fun. Chris has got a question for us.
What you got?
Do you guys do much canvas work?
Not a lot, I gotta say. I regret that. I wish I could do more. That I think after I do the St. Michael that I have pending, I'm gonna do my next painting on a large canvas, because that one, it's got to be done on canvas. I got to do that one.
Yeah, it calls for it. Yeah. I do a fair bit. It's only because I teach it as well. So often in the classroom, if it was just me at home, probably Chris, not that often, because it's just where the work calls for it. Like it's probably like Kenny's saying, like if 90% of your life is doing print media work and trading cards, why would you be stretching canvases when you could be doing more trading cards? It just depends on where your focus is. Where the money lies, really, like if we're going to be blunt about it. But I do a bit because it's part of my teaching. So I teach traditional canvas stretching, sizing of the canvas, and we don't do oil so much where I teach because it's toxic. But definitely acrylic painting. So it's all color theory and things like that. So I teach my students how to stretch canvases like they did 700 years ago, and sizing with rubber skin glue and priming the canvas. So they learn those old way techniques. And I think, it's so easy now to just go down to a supply shop and just buy a canvas ready made.
Like Jerry's.
Yeah, like hey, Jerry. It's like Jerry's. Hey, what are you doing, Jerry? What are you doing? He's gone. But it's he's just gone. But it's a different thing to cut the timber, to build in your quads, to stretch the canvas using actual canvas, and to go through the sizing process. There's a real process of a romantic process you go through, and so by the time you get to adding paint to the canvas, you're already in love with the artwork itself because you built it.
Right.
So it doesn't become so disposable, And it holds a different energy. Like, when you sell something that you've made from the beginning to the end, including what you painted on, it's a whole different thing. But, and you can get, Chris, he's just written there, Dave Dorman used a heat lamp for drying oil. You can get mediums that you can add to it that speeds the drying up as well. Similar to like you can get mediums for acrylic to slow the drying down. It just depends on the time you want to spend on it. I tend to use a little bit of linseed oil with my paints sometimes because I tend to do those glazing techniques of the Renaissance, which means the drying process is very slow with linseed oil. It just is what it is, But you learn some cool techniques through that, and it gives you time to contemplate it too because it's such a slow medium. It gives you time to sit back there and contemplate which way you're going next. Sometimes the thinking process before you brush the canvas is more powerful than the actual brush the canvas because it's deliberating. Does that make sense?
Yep. Well, for me.
Good. I'm sure it does the Chris too. He's an artist. He knows what he's doing.
No,
So I'm just doing a pass now over teal and adding a little bit of rose in with my paint. Just to, it's hard to see. This camera, for some reason, is coming out way more contrasty than in reality. But
it looks good.
You'll see it when I scan it up. The skin tones are a little bit more softer blended. But adding the rose to her skin tones would just give it a little bit of a warmer peachy color to it.
Right.
And just allows a little bit more, bit of a sun kiss on the skin rather than so pale.
Yeah.
Because I imagine if she's wearing what she's wearing outside a lot, she would tan up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Chris says he's lazy, uses canvas board. Nothing wrong with that either. The only issue I have with canvas board is sometimes it buckles and warps a bit. But it's a quick one to whack a small picture together and throw it in a frame, they're good for that. And they're very easy to post, which is another good benefit for canvas boards. You can throw it into rigid mailers and get them off as well.
True.
The old rigid mailer. So I've been noticing, Kenny, you've been cracking out some of the Marvel commissions, the Moon Knights.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. Really getting some of those done. I've noticed you've sort of stepped it up in terms of the next level, in terms of what you're doing with those, and it's very impressive, dude. I've got to say.
Thank you, sir. It's it's all about growth. It's all about growth. That I'm really, really thankful for having been a part of the portfolio prep program, because it kind of forces me to seek out ways to convey messages to my kids. Right, that had it been for me, I probably wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Because like when it's for you, it's like you have your way of understanding things, so it's like because it makes sense to you. You don't need to further elaborate. But when it's when you're explaining it to a 14-year-old, and it's got to make sense to them in their brain, so that now, okay, boom, they understand it, and now they can apply what you're trying to teach them. You kind of open yourself up to new philosophies.
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes, like the old saying goes, sometimes the best way to understand it is to teach it. And because while you're vocalizing it, you're allowing those new questions to arrive, because you bring it out, you're talking it out. It's and often it happens while you're teaching it. You think, oh. Yes. Now I finally understand this, George. And then like, what? You didn't understand it before? No, I did.
I've had those moments, like verbatim.
Revelation.
It was verbatim, I'm like, you just do this, you're doing that, and they're like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. So
yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise, it's a level of understanding without explanation. But when you're explaining it, you know what I mean. But to explain it to someone else that in a way that it has to make sense.
Yes.
Therein lies the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
That when I had that revelation, one of those times that I had that revelation is when I said, "Oh, you're coloring, you're not painting."
Right, and then you go,
you know what I mean? It was like, you know what I mean? And it was something that just totally jumped out of my body. I did, it wasn't like.
Yep.
Wait a you know what I mean? Because she was scared. Because they all call me Mr. Kenny. So she goes, Mr. Kenny, what do you think of this painting? I don't like, how do you think these colors are kind of like, working together? I was like, it looks like you're coloring, you're not painting.
Yes.
And then it was in that moment I had like one of those, you know what I'm saying?
I could just see you looking quietly to the side.
I was like, holy crap, I've just made a universe of sense right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then she was like, you know, seemed like I saw it in her face too. She was like, okay. Yes. So I was like,
I know what you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, I'm better than I thought. You know what I
mean? Absolutely. Here we go. Chris has said he's had the same aha moment you've had doing a 3D perspective in drafting class.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. It's funny.
By and large, teaching has been one of the most rewarding experiences like I've had in like my art career. Period.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I feel like like being an artist and then teaching art, like it's a very natural symbiosis.
Yes. Yeah. Well, some artists can't do it. You know, I've seen artists that can't, for whatever reason, whether it's fear, whether it's lack of their own comfortable ego, they can't let go of the knowledge because they feel like they are training competition. And I've even heard one of my early painting teachers. He was an older guy. He was very good at what he taught and the way he taught. But he said to the class, like we were all adults at this stage, but he said to us, I'm only going to ever teach you 80% of what I know. He goes, because then I don't want you to be me. I thought, well, that's an uncomfortable ego. That's someone that can't, that, you know, and if really, I mean, if you are really that evolving artist, they'll never catch you, really, because you'll be the next bit. You'll be on to the next bit. You'll be on to the next bit.
Exactly.
But if he's in that same space where they can lap him, then he truly will never reach master status. You know, I guess in that sense.
That's right.
But yeah, interesting. There's some people who like that. They just can't let it go. Yep. Oh, Chris has had another moment, realizing an armature is exactly a skeleton's dimensions. Yes.
Boom.
Yes, sir. Now, Kenny, it's been a while since we've chatted live. There's been a bit of news. There's been a lot of news.
Oh, man.
There's been so much news.
It's so much. It's so much.
Where do you start?
There's so much. I'm so unprepared.
I feel like there's so much revelations.
Indeed.
They're constantly coming out of the world. But let's start with a bit of Superman.
Yes. Let's start with a bit of Superman, indeed.
Because I know that he's both of our favorites.
Indeed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do it. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on the new Superman and the trailer?
So my first impressions of, like, say for example, the suit.
Yeah.
The suit, I wasn't too keen on it, right? I felt like it was a little too baggy for him, right?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it felt like a Party City, you know, kind of costume. I'm like,
I don't want to see me in a suit. I want to see Superman in a suit.
You know what I mean? I felt like it was a little baggy on him.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It was swimmy. It was a bit swimmy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like his collar was all loose and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know? No, this is Superman, right?
Yeah.
So then I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay. Then it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
Right? So then in the trailer, first and foremost, one of the things that I absolutely love about the trailer, right, is the absolute retro feel of A, the designs, the use of the color palette, B, and you know, the callbacks to everything that was like, it looks to me like Man of Tomorrow, All-Star Superman, and JLA, the Justice League of America from the mid to late 90s.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's the vibe that it gave.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like the did you see the purple and the green on the Lex the LexCorp soldiers?
Yes.
I'm like, okay. You know, James, James Gunn he's talking my language now. He's respecting the IP.
I was actually getting some heavy Super Friends kind of feel off of it.
Yes, like
really 70s, 80s. That real Super Friends kind of color, and not afraid to look at the comics. Like Crypto.
Right. Crypto was probably my favorite part of the whole trailer, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
Like to get a legit Crypto, I didn't even mind that he was like a shaggy dog instead of like a.
I know that bothered me a bit, but
I didn't mind that he was a shaggy dog.
But he had the cape, right? The cape was important. If they had on the cape, I don't know. That would be
he sold me when the ear went up and he tilted his head a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, home, right? So I was like, oh, I want a Crypto, right?
Yes.
And
I agree with Chris a bit. Chris just said that it bothers him that it's got the Kingdom Come emblem. I was like, it does be a bit too. I kind of want it to be a Kingdom Come rather than a marriage between the two. Like I want there to be a Kingdom Come one day.
Right.
Because I would, you and I would both kill to see that film. Like,
absolutely.
So I kind of would love that to be the reveal for Kingdom Come, but anyway, it is what it is.
So then, I found an Easter egg in the trailer that raised questions, right? It kind of gave me a little bit of speculation, or like it raised a little bit of questions, but then it kind of like I didn't want to like spoil the movie for myself in that regard, right?
Yeah.
So there's a scene where Superman is fighting a guy in a stadium. Right. He catches the tackle when the guy shoots at him or shoots towards him, and then he like knocks him back, and then you can very clearly see a U on his chest.
Okay. Yeah.
So, when we see a character that can go toe to toe with Superman, we immediately think Ultraman, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Alternate reality Superman. Lance Stewart. What's up, Lance? Happy New Year.
It's good to have you here, Lance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ultraman too. And the biggest concern I have is that are they going to try and cram too much in? Because there seems to be a lot that they're trying to put into this. But, who knows? I mean, right. It seems like he's all over it. Like they've just cast Supergirl, and they've cast a girl from the Game of Thrones.
That's right. That's right.
Young blonde girl. Yeah.
I think that's a good casting. I think that's a good casting. She can do it. She's got I love her appearance.
Yeah.
So
that's how it goes.
There was the shot of Metamorpho, right? The blinking you'll miss it shot of Metamorpho. Right? Metamorpho looked awesome. In my opinion. Right? And that's where it brings me back to Silver Age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the first appearance of Metamorpho was, for me anyway, was The Outsiders.
Right.
Batman and the Outsiders, where it was Metamorpho, it was Katana. Who am I forgetting? I think Cyborg was on the team.
Yep.
Because it was supposed to be like a misfit of heroes. Hence, them being the Outsiders.
Like the Losers, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of like the Losers. Yeah. But not necessarily the Losers per se, but they didn't fit the standard, chiseled physique or square jawline look of a superhero. You know what I mean?
They didn't make the Justice League cut.
Right. They didn't make the Justice League cut.
Yeah.
So So I feel as though he will, or at least I'm hoping, right? Because I don't think he's gonna go the route of like trying to cram too much into one film, right? But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he can do Metamorpho justice, because I do like Metamorpho. He's one of my favorite OG characters
Right.
from the universe, right?
Yeah.
But set up something else, right? Like behind the scenes that doesn't distract from the Metamorpho plotline.
Right.
You know, because we got the glance of like Stag Industries, so we can see the tie-in.
Yeah.
We got the JLA in the uniform, which is what reminds me of like those comics like that came out after Zero Hour.
Right. Yeah.
So I honestly feel really, really good about it.
I just hope we get to a point where it's not just Luthor again.
Right.
I'm sure he will. I mean, I have a bit more faith in James Gunn than Snyder, but I just hope we can get to the point where there's a Brainiac coming. Give me a Brainiac somewhere.
Give me a Brainiac. Give me a Metallo.
How can we have not have got to Brainiac yet? Like,
give me a Mongol.
Yes.
Like
Brainiac, like it's a given. Like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, how can we not have got there?
Yeah, we should have gotten that a long time ago. We should have gotten that years ago.
Yeah. It just makes no sense, but anyway.
But we'll see, because I don't want them to go the route of doing an evil Superman just yet.
No.
So that's the only real concern that I'll have with this new film.
Yeah.
But overall, I was very excited. It looked fantastic. The colors were great.
Yeah.
He looked good in the suit.
Yeah.
And it gives me that same sort of optimism and uplifting energy that that I would get from like the old Christopher Reeve films.
Yeah.
The Richard Donner films.
Yep.
I did like that they included the melody of the original John Williams theme.
Yes.
In the trailer.
That's essential.
All right. Okay. You know what you're doing. Your marketing team knows what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing that really bothered me, like watching the trailer, was Guy Gardner's wig. That's what bothered me. Because he looked like Randy Quaid in Kingpin.
Yes. Yeah, it looked like a blend between Randy Quaid and the killer in No Country for Old Men. The weird bowl cut. The bowl cut.
That's the only thing that bothered me. The only thing that bothered me. Everything else, I was on board with.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I was the same. I mean, there's some really sort of. I mean, what I look for a superhero movie, especially Superman, is that it just has that hope, that Superman that he's all about, and that's what I think Snyder took too long to get to.
Right.
Too much of this whole I'm surviving the realm of Earth and blah blah blah, and not everyone's a hero. They eventually become a villain, and cool, But for me, that's a Batman dialogue, like Superman had that hope, like he was the hope for humanity. He's the archetype of Moses, it's like that whole idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it took too long to get there, so I'm hoping that we see that idea, that thing that made me fall in love with Superman when I was a kid was he was the best of us, you know.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the take. It looks like it seems like a more hopeful and perhaps more aspiring take on Superman. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how we go.
Oh yeah.
Lance said he wasn't a fan of the dog choice for Krypto.
It was a cute dog, you gotta admit.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't aesthetically look like Krypto, but you know,
aesthetically no, because that's like a white Labrador.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah, I never really knew what kind of dog Krypto was. It was almost like a mix between a lab and a beagle, wasn't it? It was like a funny, thin coat to it. It had a funny thin coat to it, didn't it?
Depending on who's drawing them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like during what the Super Friends, he gave more of a Labrador, kind of build, kind of breed, right? Because he wasn't a huge dog, but he was a big dog.
Yeah.
And then there's some iterations where he's a bit smaller. He gives a little more of a Jack Russell, like a large Jack Russell.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm willing to accept the Shaggy Krypto if they give me a decent depiction of the characters.
And if you've got Krypto in, is there going to be a Streaky the cat for Supergirl? That's what I want. Is there going to be Streaky? There's a deep cut. There's a deep cut for you.
That's a super deep cut. Super deep cut. Now, I don't mind deep cuts, but everything has its limits.
Yeah, not everything needs limits. What are we doing?
We need limits. I would officially check out if he gives me Mixelplick.
You'd go see it. Come on, let's be real.
I would. Especially if it was what's his name? From Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Another one, Dinkler.
Yes.
Peter Dinklage.
If it was Peter Dinklage playing Mixelplick, I'm there.
Yes.
I think he would play the crap out of that character.
Oh, that'd be good.
Here at Back to the Drawing Board, ladies and gentlemen, the views expressed by Will and Kenny are not that of the brand. So we mean no offense to any of the vertically challenged, that may be watching currently or may watch this in the future.
Yes.
Vertically challenged.
That's funny. Mixelplick.
So the Penguin.
Yeah. Oh man, how good was that?
That was fantastic.
How good was the Penguin?
That was absolutely fantastic. I got non-comic fans like raving about that series.
Yeah. It's
really, really great.
It's a great mix between our two favorite genres, superheroes and Goodfellas.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Very, very well written. Very well done. Very, very impressed with it. Now, in retrospect, it makes me a little sad that, we gotta wait such a long time before we get the next Batman.
Right. I wonder what they're going to do with that. I know that they've got another Batman coming out, but in that sort of universe. But I wonder what James Gunn's going to do with that. Is obviously a recast, or is he going to keep that Batman?
So I've been led to believe that the Pattinson Batman is going to stay his own self-contained universe.
He's not going
Right.
to be a part of the greater DCU that James
Right.
Gunn is building.
Okay.
So that's going to be its own self-contained thing. And
Okay.
there's a
Sort of
rumor,
like an Elseworlds kind of thing.
kind of like an Elseworld thing, right? And
Yeah.
then there's a rumor that he may have already cast Batman.
Right.
And it's have you ever seen Titans, the TV show on
Yeah, I did. I did watch some of it. We can get to the end of it. now.
on Max? So
Yeah.
the actor that played Hawk,
Oh yeah. Yep.
of Hawk and Dove, that he's been on like Jack Reacher, the series currently.
He's a big guy. Pretty solid.
He's a big guy, and I could totally see him playing Batman.
Yeah.
He's got the physique, he's got the jaw.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the rumor,
Yeah.
right? Not confirmed. Me personally, I could see him doing it, or I could see Jensen Ackles doing it.
Okay.
Now, Jensen Ackles isn't necessarily a big guy,
Yeah.
but he's got that gruff kind of voice.
Yeah.
You know, I think he can pull it off. He actually voiced Batman in the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movies.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Yes. So he was the voice of Batman through those.
Okay. So it could happen.
It could. Lance Stewart says, from what I saw, they're going to keep that Batman and have it as an they're gonna keep it as an Elseworld, right? So in the recent, I don't know if you've been watching the what's it called? The Monster Show on
Creature Commandos.
the Creature Commandos. Isn't that that's such a good show?
I love it. Yeah, it's good fun.
Oh man, it's such a fun show. Like the GI Robot is my favorite character.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, you know, when you know, and he's very matter of fact about it on some like, have we thoroughly checked all the IDs of everyone in this audience? You know,
Do I get to
because
kill
some of them
Nazis?
could be
Do I get to
Nazis.
kill Nazis. You know, it's just all about killing Nazis everywhere. Is that, are they going to be Nazis there?
You know, he's
I love that it's just so unashamedly violent. Like just
oh yes,
like the Dr. Foster is just burning through people's heads. Like this doesn't care. Like
yeah,
just burning through
so
someone's face.
good. It's so good. You know, and man, they got a stacked cast.
Right.
They got a stacked cast of actors on Creature Commandos.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And I you know me, I'm a old school horror guy. I love the Universal monsters. That's my, you know, one of my little loves. It's great to see the bride getting into it. I didn't know if I'd really like Frankenstein. I thought that was a bit off-putting, but they are restricted by what they can do because of Universal, but
Right.
because they can't actually make it look like Karloff, which is always tricky.
Of course.
Yeah.
But,
So Lance Stewart says the original CW Aquaman is the same guy. I don't remember that one. Yeah. And Chris Ballmer said Alan Richardson could pull off Batman, but I can't see him pulling off Bruce Wayne. That's the
Okay.
tricky thing, isn't it? You got to have the two sides of the coin for the man in the cowl. He's got to be able to play.
Sure.
He's got to be able to play the facade of Bruce Wayne, and the drive, the crazy drive that Batman has to do what he keeps doing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, they got it. That's such a good show. It's really like well casted.
Yeah,
Like that's Indira Varma playing the bride. She was the the Princess of Dorne in
Yeah, right.
in
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You know, Frank Grillo is Rick Flag,
Yes.
right? This guy Alan. What's his? He's got a weird last name. Alan
Tudyk.
Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus.
K2SO. Rogue One.
Yes,
That's it.
yes, and Firefly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, David Arbor is Frankenstein.
Is that Hellboy? And the guy from
Yeah,
Strange-
it's the recent Hellboy. Yeah, they have such a good like cast on the show, and Sean Gunn back as Weasel, and GI Robot.
Yeah.
I like how James is throwing his brother in there in like these weird these weird character roles.
I did feel like the creature from the Black Lagoon girl didn't get her day in the sun enough.
Yeah, I don't think she's.
She wasn't
I
a
don't think
fit
she
for
hasn't
the
gotten
thing.
it yet. I think
Yeah.
she'll get it, but I think she hasn't gotten it yet. You know, because like every character up to this point has had an episode where like they've shined.
Did
You
you
know what I
finish
mean?
it? Did you finish it, Kenny?
I haven't finished it yet. I think the last episode that I saw was the episode where where Amanda Waller gets the vision from Cersei predicting the death of the world, and like she saw the vision of the Justice League all impaled.
Yes.
Right. So Rick Flag is trying to get a message out to her, to the princess, about how the Suicide Squad is after her.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then I think the episode after that was the backstory to what happened to Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Where he meets the blind woman and that's where I left off. So like I'm probably a couple episodes behind.
Which is a bit of a callback to the movie the Bride of Frankenstein, or the son, yeah, Bride of Frankenstein, where the monster is befriended by the blind man that lives in a cottage in the woods.
Ah, that's right.
And he's shown kindness, and also how to smoke and drink.
Which is double kindness.
Yeah, I'll give you kindness, and then I'll give you 1930s kindness, and I'll give you a massive addiction. So I'll give you those two things to go with. Happy days. Happy days. And I made a play on that in the old, the Gene Wilder Young Frankenstein with Gene Hackman playing the blind guy, remember?
Oh, that's right.
He pours in the drink into his lap and the soup into his lap, and all of that. It's great.
Such a good movie.
And yes, Chris Borman, we have been behaving so far, but I think we're just distracted.
So far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first show of 2025. Like,
Come on,
you expect us to, come out with our pants down,
What?
why, you know what I mean? Shaking the wang at the audience, like, like, come on. We gotta, let us build up to it. Let's warm up the engine a little.
Uncle Kenny's up to no good again. He's come out with his pants down.
Where's Corvette?
Where is Corvette?
I mean, we haven't seen or heard from Corvette in a bit.
Yeah. Yes.
She's usually the hall monitor.
Yeah. Exactly. What about the Red Hulk film that's coming out? What do you think about that?
Honestly, I'm completely uninterested. Honestly, I'm completely uninterested right now. I mean, like, the MCU would have to do a whole lot to get me to tune in again. I mean, the only good thing that I can anticipate right now is Daredevil.
Right. Yeah.
That trailer looked fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that, I am all over that.
Which was again almost like an adult MCU, wasn't it? When it was on Netflix, it was
Absolutely.
like Punisher. Like that, the fact that they got the Punisher guy back again, and I think that's going to be a win. But yeah, I struggle with the whole with the MCU. I feel like it's kind of lost its way a bit. Like it doesn't. This is just my opinion only. I really don't have that kind of fan insider kind of look to it, but just from the outside looking in, it feels like they've kind of lost their way a little bit with everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they have a real focus. I think with Chris Evans and Robert Downey leaving, I think they're probably finding it hard to find their mainstay again. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and now we bring in RDJ back as Doom. Like I feel like that's a Hail Mary.
I don't understand that. Explain that to me. How does that work?
You know, I think it's a desperation move to kind of right the ship.
Right.
Like because RDJ, Chris Evans, obviously the original crew of Avengers are beloved. You know what I mean? And I feel like, sure, you know, over the span of like 8-9 movies, you know, a whole decade has gone by.
Right.
You know, so everybody's kind of aging out of those parts, but it's
you
can't
keep doing
it. And then they keep attempting to replace them with younger counterparts using the TV shows that they were airing over the pandemic.
Right.
But
yes.
You know, it's not resonating the way the films did, because the films gave you like that character development. You know, these are the OG characters, so it's like, you know, you're looking forward to them. You know, as opposed to giving us. I think
Star Wars has done the same mistake. Star Wars has done the same mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I mean, that's why it's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The whole idea of it being cinematic in feel,
right?
Not an episodic show, you know.
Right.
But how would you feel if they recast Tony Stark with someone that had the same charm that Robert Downey has? Would you feel accepting of that, or would you find it hard to?
At this point, I would find it really difficult.
Yeah.
Because, you know, before RDJ played Iron Man, like Iron Man wasn't like one of the A-listers. Iron Man was you know, C tier, D tier, easily,
right.
Like in terms of like popularity, right? So,
do you think maybe a reset could be in order, where it starts with the first family, like Fantastic Four?
It's possible. I mean,
because that's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah, they're doing this whole like Secret Wars thing, and I know that's happening for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not slowing down with the whole multiverse angle anytime soon.
Right.
That for me at this point, like I've gotten multiversed out. You know, like give me a plain old continuity that I can follow, that I can connect with.
Yes.
You know, everybody's doing a multiversal like angle, and it's, you know, and it's getting to a point where it's kind of done to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
There she is.
Corvette is in the house.
The Corvette. Happy New Year, Yvette.
We've been lost without our archivist. I'm just trying to put a little bit of underpainting for the hair in. At the moment. And Teal a bit of heavy hair action like you've got on yours.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I wanted to keep it kind of voluminous.
I've gone a little bit more auburn than yours. Yours is a little
Yeah,
bit more.
no, I'm gonna touch this up because I went like really, really red.
Yeah.
Like it's too warm for my liking.
Right.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna drop in some of the brown for the tree. I think I've done quite enough here with the bush in the back.
It's looking good. I like how you got the
Thanks.
dark watercolory undertones there.
A little
Weird.
bit, you know, kind of and build it up.
Oh, event. Where do we start? Where do we start on what you missed? I don't know. We've talked about Kenny coming out with no pants on. We've talked about Superman, the Superman movie. We're probably only not even a tenth through the news that's happened between now and then. But there's so much to catch up on. Oh, dude.
It says, I like the skin tones. I've dated a lot of redheads.
Oh, okay, Chris.
I see. Chris is a man of culture. Chris is a man of culture.
What are we talking, Chris? Upwards of 5 redheads? 10? Well, have we got a number? I need a number. What are we talking about? A lot. What's a lot? So, very disappointing news with Neil Gaiman this week that's come out.
Ooh, tell me about it.
Have you read much about what's going on there?
I do know that there was the issue with the sexual allegations.
Yeah. So there's been this big article that's come out talking about the multiple allegations
Oof.
of
Naughty Neil.
yeah, it's almost beyond naughty. It's pretty horrendous actually, but
Oh wow.
it's sad to see that happen, but unfortunately it's like we talked about before, there's that unsafe ego with some people.
Right.
And I think he's one of them who just saw himself as the master. And everyone had to call him that. So very disappointed.
Wow.
But yeah. Forcibly so. But it's pretty yuck.
Man.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
here we go. Chris has revealed 5 to 6 redheads. Okay.
5 to 6. Okay. Pretty decent handful. Pretty.
We're not shopping for fruit. We're not shopping it for fruit here, Ken. Oh, it's funny.
I tell you.
I you know what I think? I think Yvette is the one that makes us go off the rails because we were good till now,
Ooh.
right?
You might be
I'm
onto
not-
something.
I'm no longer taking responsibility, Chris Foreman. This
You
is
might be
now. I've hot potatoed that away from me. Oh,
You just might be onto something. Chris says he's got a type.
yes.
Yeah. If the hair's not fiery and she's afraid of the sun, it ain't right. It ain't right.
So I'm just putting in a bit of the. We've got the old animal skin boots going on here,
I like it.
but she's cracking out the extra element of the high heel. She got the high heel happening on the animal skin boots.
You know,
How does that work? Like, in terms of like producing something like that, how does that work?
You know what? I think it would be interesting to see like a spin-off, like a single one-shot episode spin-off of like the Cobbler of Eternia.
Yes.
You know, Cobblers of Eternia, sort of like Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, and you could jump around, like you could jump around episodically, like in that episode from scene to scene, where you go to the armorer's place, and then you go to the leather maker, you go to the construction worker that's got to build Castle Grayskull. Like, he wants what? What does he want? A tower? What? What do you mean? I want the frustration of the everyman. I want the frustration of, what do you mean she wants high heels? How am I going to do that? I'm out of the black fur. We've killed everything. There's nothing left. You know? How are we going to source that? And then like slapping the apprentice across the face because he's frustrated.
We need more Flumulus. We need more Flumulus.
What do you mean he wants a sword that looks like a corn cob? What do you mean?
What, like he wants it bumpy? What? He
wants it yellow?
Why does he want yellow? Battle?
Where am I going to get yellow? Lining up down at the hardware store trying to find something in the aisles. I can't find it. You can't find the yellow.
Oh man!
I would watch that show.
I would too. I would too.
It'd be like The Office.
Would watch the crap out of
that. The Office of Eternia.
I would watch the crap out of that. 100%. 100%.
The frustrations, you know.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? I don't understand the blueprint of what they want.
Why do you want to ride a cat?
What do you?
Are we out of horses?
When did we have green cats? What the hell?
What do you mean the cat can talk?
What do you mean?
Why do you want to ride it if it can talk?
Doesn't it have oppositions to this? Like, does it have a union? Like, what's going on with the cat? What do you mean he's got a skull for a head? That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes no sense.
What? No muscles? He's got no muscles? Like, what
do you mean?
How
He's
does
got
he
no
eat?
lips? What do you mean no lips? How's he talking on the phone? How does he say S?
You know, that's 100% something I would watch.
Yes.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
What do you want? He wants a vehicle that looks like a spider, a spinning spider. What?
Why?
How am I going to make that? And yelling out across the workshop, "Hey, does anyone know how to make this? A spider vehicle by next week."
Yeah, it's the weird guy again. The weird guy's back.
It's the weird guy again.
The weird guy.
Yeah.
You know, listen, I don't know why we keep making this stuff. He keeps paying.
Shut up. Find me a spider. Find me some spider machine parts. Yes, you have to paint the eyes on it. Yes, there must be painted eyes. All right.
Make it happen.
It can happen. Someone get me a copy now. So Chris said it's been a while. I don't remember the list. Is there an Orko? Let's have a look where Orko is on the list.
Absolutely, there's an Orko.
Oh, right. I can't even see. I've got tears in my eyes. Let's have a look. It's all a bit blurry right now. Yeah, Orko is in our second tier.
Ooh, coming up.
So we got Battle Armor He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor, Buzz-Off, Clawful, Fisto, Cobra Khan, Mechaneck, and then Orko.
Nice.
And then your favorite Prince Adam, Webster, Whiplash, Hordak, Leech, Grizzlord. That's the second tier. Yeah. There you go.
So now, without further ado, for the very first time in 2025,
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna mix Copper Tone Brown.
We will be waiting for it, kids. We all know.
Copper Tone Brown, coming right up.
What blue do you use for your copper tone brown?
Shoot, I'll tell you right now.
The blue's the ingredients, really, the one that makes it the copper tone.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Hold on. I use the Prussian blue
Yes, that's what I use. Yep.
and
Bit
Van
of
Dyke
burnt
Brown.
umber. Burnt umber.
Van Dyke Brown.
Van Dyke. Yeah, very similar. Yep. Very good.
And that gives me the Copper Tone Brown.
Yes. Commonly known as copper tone brown.
Indeed.
So Chris goes, so in about 6 years you'll get the Walker. Yeah.
You know, I don't like your attitude, Chris. I like your attitude.
Yeah. Jesus, Chris. Do you think this is easy? You think this is easy doing this? Do you think this kind of narrative just comes together naturally? Like just falls together?
Right?
Yeah, the planning. The lack of planning. The lack of planning goes into this. It's unparalleled. Oh, man.
Put a little bit of green in that copper tone. Cool off that brown just a bit. Got okay. Now let's get some blue.
Correct, Chris Foreman. Correct.
Wow, look at that. Yes. Yes. Thank goodness for Agatha Christie.
I've always said that.
Let's get a bit of this forest green and a bit of this Prussian blue. Water.
Now, what color is the fluff on the top of the boots, Kenny? Is it just like a whitey cream color?
I think it's white. I think it's just white. Yeah.
Another endangered species destroyed for Tila.
Yeah, I think like it's like, you know, those giant hawks that are now going endangered in Eternia right now.
Well, because Tila needs the boots.
Because they ran out of whatever the beast was to make the black fur.
It's gone.
So now it's going for the hawks.
Just deleted. What do you think about the casting for the He-Man film that's coming out? I don't know how real that is anyway, but I believe the He-Man film when it ever comes out. I don't know.
I mean,
come on. Like Jay, what's his name?
Jared Leto.
He said Jay Leno. Yeah, Jay Leno.
He would make an awesome Skeletor.
Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, him as Scorp.
I think he would give a really convincing man.
He might be better than It might be better than Jared Leto.
Yeah, he would give a really convincing man.
So Jared Leto is Skeletor. I don't know how real any of that is, but
I mean, he's got the cheekbones, right? But
And it's got the empty eye sockets and the 1,000-yard stare already, so that's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But are they gonna go the route of like CGing the face to look like a skull, or will they do like
I don't know. If they do it properly,
how
at
they
least.
did, how they did like what was his name? Was it Frank Mangello?
Yes. Well, I mean, his was a complete prosthetic face mask,
Right.
but at least now we've got the technology to give some decent effects, I guess, to lean into
Right.
if they do it on Earth again with the weird dwarf guys,
Nah.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm
They're
tuning
going to
out.
kill it. It'll just be dead. They'll have to wait another whole generation to do another film.
Yeah, I'm 100% tuning out.
Yeah.
And like, if they're gonna CGI anything, they better CGI the crap out of He-Man, because like that dude looks like I weigh more than him. You know what I mean? Like that dude looks like he's been missing a lot of meals. Like
that kid needs a sandwich. He needs a ham sandwich.
100%. Like
Somebody get that kid a sandwich. Right.
yes, he needs his own crafting table. Like, 'cause
He needs a team.
Lord Jesus, feed that boy.
No, I didn't see that, Chris. Did you, Kenny?
No. Oh wait, the one where it's like, oh yeah, where like you wear it like a hood, right? But it goes over your face, and then when you talk, like the jaw moves.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
cool.
like the hood is sheer enough to where you can see through the eye holes, right?
Yeah,
So it's
well-
kind of like wearing the way like a robber would wear like a stocking mask,
right.
right? But over the mask is the actual skull, and the mandible is where your jaw is. So like it's like a talking
yeah.
skeleton.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Beats the old plastic ones with a bit of rubber band like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's come a bit of a ways.
All right. I'm gonna push some more a bit of this Prussian blue, and a bit of this green on the bottom here, so we get some nice shadows underneath the moss.
Yeah. How much of the background are you doing on this one?
I think that's as far as I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't want to like overdo it, because she's already like the center of the image,
Yeah.
and because she's with so many warm colors, I want to keep the environment relatively cool.
Right.
So the rock, I'm gonna go with like a gray, like
Yep.
a very cool gray, a cool gray stone, and then like hit some of these like mushrooms and fungus,
Yeah.
you know, with a muted tone, so that
Yep.
she like pops.
That's going to be cool.
And then hit her one more time with some deeper shadow values, so she like, you know, there's a bit more of a contrast, but it still
Yep.
feels a bit flat in some areas. So
Yeah. Yep. That's the benefit of the gouache usually, is that you take it to that next level of watercolor and just really give it some depth.
yeah,
For sure.
it's like I'm sitting here applying, and I'm kind of like leaning back in my chair to, you know, get the full scope.
Yeah. What's next on your commission list, Kenny? Are you going to do another X-Men character?
On Monday for the Lead Poison live stream.
Yep.
I'm gonna be doing a Batman.
Oh, that's cool. So no more X-Men characters for that client?
So no, he he's got more that he wants to commission, but I told him you got to give me a break. It's like
You gotta break it up.
you gotta, because he was consistent, dude. Like he started off with a couple sketch cards, then he started like getting into bigger pieces, and I'm like, dude, I love the enthusiasm, but you got to give me a break. I gotta, you know.
Yeah.
So the same client commissions a Batman doing the Akira motorcycle slide.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So I can share it with you guys. The client has already seen it and he's already approved the composition. So I mean, it's gonna come out. It's still in the blue pencil.
Yep.
You can kind of see it.
Oh, that's cool. Very Akira-like.
Yes. So it's the Akira motorcycle slide back.
Nice.
Right, and I have his hand extended here, throwing 3 Batarang.
Nice one, dude.
Right, I'm
That'd
gonna
be
do
very
like
cool.
a very light cityscape behind him,
Yep.
and do like what I've been doing, the ink wash.
Nice.
The ink wash with the quill and a brush, so we keep the nice sort of pulpy black and white vibe going.
Love it.
I think I'm gonna spend the majority of the time like kind of rendering the tech on the
Yeah,
motorcycle.
well, all that bike, but you got the chops. You could do it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Good.
So that's what's on the docket for Monday's stream.
Nice
Well,
one.
Monday here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
that's Tuesday morning for you guys, no?
Yeah, usually streaming in the morning. I noticed that when it popped up on my thing, I was like, "Oh, Kenny's live."
Yeah. So that's what I'll be doing for the Lead Poison live stream. And same deal as always. I'm gonna, because it's black and white, I'm gonna do it all in one stream. That once I knock out my blue pencil render for some light details, everything else I can do like live on the stream.
Nice one.
And get to have a good little conversation, and
Well, last one you had a pretty good turnout.
yeah, I had a pretty good turnout. And it didn't require like a whole lot of like promoing. I just posted it in one spot. And,
Just jumped. Yep.
I think Twitch helps a lot.
Yeah, I don't know much
Hold on.
about Twitch.
Because on Twitch is kind of like how we used to watch broadcast television, how we would channel surf.
Yep.
So then yeah, you'll see Chris. I'll have that going on Monday. So on Twitch, it's kind of like YouTube with a bit of like broadcast TV, right? So depending on what you're interested in, they have streamers going, for hours at a time.
Right.
So because I'm in the art category, anyone who's like into that sort of stuff, like watching live streams of like art, they like my channel will get shot to their like recommendations.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Right.
So
a lot of streamers use it, don't they? Like as in game streamers.
yes, a lot of game streamers use it. My cousin who streams also, he's big on Twitch, and so like that's what it's primarily used for, aside from doing reactions, like live reactions to things.
Right.
And what's it called? IRL streaming.
Right.
So it's like, someone taking a trip and they're vlogging the trip, but they're doing it live on Twitch. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Is
So
it true though? Have I heard that TikTok has now been banned in the US? Is that correct?
As of the 19th,
Right.
it's no longer going to be available
Wow.
in the App Store.
Wow. That's going to
for us
sting a
in the
few
US.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, corporate greed.
Yeah.
That's what it boils
That's it.
down to.
Yeah.
But
All right. Furry boots are done.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that there's a TikTok alternative though that
Oh, is there?
a buddy of mine put me on to. I think it was like 2 years ago. It was early last year.
Right. Okay.
It's an app called Clapper.
Flapper.
Clapper.
Oh, Clapper.
Yeah, like clapping your hands.
Yeah. Okay.
So it works. So it's basically TikTok, but for adults, right? So you won't find, teenagers doing weird dances on there.
Yeah.
It's more it's more like focused on like adult, not adult like naughty adults, but like just grown up content.
Mature, grown up content.
Yeah, like mature content with like your occasional like funny skits,
Yeah.
your informative videos and stuff. I already have an account because my buddy who likes to like he keeps in the know with a lot of like tech stuff.
Yeah.
He told me about it, and like when I found that I signed up for it, I got a couple videos posted on there.
Yeah.
It works just like TikTok. It's just not for the teeny boppers.
Right.
But now that TikTok is going the way of the dodo here in the States, I think it might be an influx of teeny boppers heading over to Clapper.
It always happens. They did it with Facebook for a while there too, remember?
That's true.
So who knows?
But yeah, so I mean, here's what it is. I don't have a huge following on TikTok either. So
Yeah.
It makes me. It doesn't really affect me. And
No. All right. Now, a bit of gold, I think.
yeah.
A bit of gold.
So now, what was the color of her staff?
Oh, you got a staff or a sword? Staff.
I gave her both. So I gave her the
Here
sword here,
we
and
go.
then the staff is on her shoulder.
There you go. I've just put it on screen, so it's gold.
Gold staff. Perfect.
Yeah.
There. I might need to change this water soon. Let's get a bit of this going. Once again, we appreciate you guys in the chat hanging out with us and
Yeah.
tuning into the stream and just listening to our hijinks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting year. We've got some new Marvel stuff, do more DC stuff, and
Yes.
Diamond Distributing just went into bankruptcy, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, I heard Rob Liefeld talking about the other day about the notion that it's really it's leaned into the creator-owned world now.
As it should.
Yeah.
As it should, because the big wigs have been in control for too long, and they've been gatekeeping and monopolizing a lot. So it was bound to happen.
Just the notion of well, I can't remember the term he used, but it's the idea that the creator is now the business owner, in charge of distribution, in charge of sales, in charge of marketing, and a lot of it can be done on some of those platforms, like Whatnot and things like that.
Absolutely.
We don't have one in Australia yet. It hasn't. They assure me that it's eventually coming down this way, but it's not an option here at the moment.
Absolutely. That one of our comrades, Rob Powers, aka Def Shogun, shout out to him. I just got the notification on my phone right now that he is live on Whatnot right now. Give our guy Rob Powers, aka Def Shogun, a follow on all socials. Def Shogun is his handle on everything. He's actually pushing everything on Whatnot, like his Pinguino books, his Cataclysm, because essentially they're getting the work direct from the artist. You know what I mean? Yes,
absolutely. And what I love about Rob is that he's very much aligned with us in the sense that he's constantly evolving.
Yes.
He's never sitting still, and I watch him jump from learning 2D to trading cards to doing his digital mashups to doing his Pinguino. Like he's becoming a beast in terms of all the things that he knows how to do, which is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That I think it was when I was doing the Colossus.
Yes.
When I was doing the Colossus, he jumped into the live. He was in my chat.
I saw that. I saw him get on. Yeah.
And he said that he started doing traditional. He's back doing traditional and stuff. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I sent him links to the quill and an ink that I use.
Yeah.
Right. And I told him, I was like, dude, once you start dipping your ink, there's no coming back.
Yeah, that's right. It becomes very seductive. Yeah.
Like it'll be the only way you ink moving forward. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so wife Maura, I mean, she's an incredible talent too, and I've seen some of her artwork. She's up there too. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, she's got great stuff.
Yeah, and they're good people. Well, they're just good people.
Yeah.
More of that, less of everything else. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Okay, I like the way it's meshing. I like the way this is meshing right now.
Yeah, let me have a look. See, I like your vine on the back there. The tree with the moss hanging off the top. That was great.
So yeah, this, and again, this is more of the painting stuff, right? Because a lot of this, like the detail kind of fell off on this with the pencil. So I just kind of, let it disappear into like the mist, into the mossiness back here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm doing the same thing here with the rocks. I'm just trying to kind of pull out some of the jagged aspects of the rock with just the paint. Pull out some of the shape language.
Are you going to do some more on the rock there, like do depth and detail on that, like give it that grain?
Oh yeah. This is just the fill, right? So I have a local color that I can build off of.
Yeah, cool.
That doing this combination of like a cool gray with a darker cool gray, just so I can get some of that sort of like rocky texture,
Yeah.
just so I can build off of it, and drop some nice shadows in there.
Yeah.
So I'm using a bit of little tiny drop of black,
It's dangerous.
the tiniest bit of black, some Prussian blue, some Bandai brown, just so I can get that deep gray that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And using this round brush, I feel like it gives me like that chunky little formation that I like.
Yeah.
How you
Chris
doing?
says, are you finishing with ink or are you going all paint?
No, this is all paint because I did the last one all paint.
That's right.
This one's gonna be all paint, but I feel like this one is gonna turn out cleaner than my last one because there's been a bit of an evolution.
Yes.
So I feel like this one will turn out a bit cleaner. This one's gonna be all paint.
And for anyone that's chiming in that would like to search more for Kenny and my artwork, we have Etsy stores available, right, Kenny?
Yes, absolutely.
And they are on the screen now. Here we go.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. See how we doing here. Okay. Now, I think I can drop in some local color for the fungus. I think I can put in some shadows in her body.
Nice. Which usually means then you flip to doing the highlights again. That's what happens with me. I put the shadows in, and I work on the highlights. Oh, my mid-tones in a bit more. And you keep dancing with it until you get to the right balance.
That's what it's all about.
Trying to get a bit of the gold effects. Chris doesn't remember who the last character was. Kenny?
It was shoot, I forgot his name.
Man at Arms? Stratos?
No. Stratos. It was Stratos, yes, because it was like the wings, and then I had the sun.
The Winged Warrior.
Yes.
You had some really beautiful sun effects coming through yours last time.
That we had that conversation about like what's actually an outfit or part of his anatomy.
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
With
what was feathers and what was skin? What?
Right? You know.
We got the guy on the phone again. He wants the feathers molded in with his skin. What? Can someone get him in? Just get the client in so we can talk to him. What's going on? What he wants? Who his requirements are? Because he got that weird grey fur everywhere.
Yeah, he had like this weird gray fur, but like he had zero facial hair.
Face. Yeah, it's like he was a La Jolla man or something.
Yeah,
there's a cryptid deep cut for you.
There it is. There it is. Let's get a little bit of this purple. There's some of the Prussian blue, so we get a nice cool violet. I like using purples with warmer tones
Yeah.
over blues. I find them to be more like consistent with like a warmer like local color.
Yeah. It's a pretty safe undercolor to use purple as well.
Yeah.
That's why digital artists use it a lot too.
Oh yeah, I use
Digital colors.
it plenty. Yeah. I use it a bit washed out so that the shadow is gentle.
So they made an announcement for Tops this week
Okay.
that the Star Wars Artifacts, which is a card series I worked on, is coming out on February the 4th.
Nice.
Safe to advertise that, and it's a bit different. If you remember, Kenny, it's a really big card set.
Yeah, those were like the postcard size, right? The 5x7.
Yeah, really big, really thick in card tone.
Nice.
And I think my understanding is that the cost of the cards are a bit more premium, like they're a bit more expensive.
As they should.
But I've seen some of the art from some of the group of us. There's only 100 of us artists that were invited to do it.
Oh wow.
So it's a bit of an interesting group to be a part of, and some of their art looks amazing. So that comes out on the 5th of February.
Oh man, I'm gonna look out for that.
Yeah. Super premium cardstock, so it's really thick. It's really nice to work on.
Oh, I bet.
Took the gouache nicely, which is good.
Now, do you seal the gouache after you're
No.
done?
No, I don't do that. I mean, I don't know if it would take it. Like, I mean, I tend to push the cardstock as far as I can go with it.
Right.
I don't know if it would take the extra layer of moisture.
Right.
So I don't think.
I don't know if I was using it properly or not, but
Mhm.
I did get like a matte finish,
Ah, yes.
right? and I had used it on a commission.
Yep.
It didn't ruin the commission, but it did wake up the watercolor.
Yeah, you got to be careful, and I think sometimes you get a bit of bleed, especially with gouache, because it is a layer of moisture. So you just got to be. It's just a bit tricky, but I don't tend to experiment when I'm on the deadline. I get a bit fearful of that. I want to get done and safely packaged. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting watching people work, because I mean, especially sort of being involved in the cards this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's seeing people doing everything from Copic markers to colouring in pencils to watercolours. And Tops have a tier program where they have different artists in different tiers, so they get invited to different things, like yourself.
Yep.
So,
That's interesting. I didn't know that they had a tier program.
They do. It's something they don't often talk about, but I've just learned it from the artists that have been in and around it for 15 years or so. Is that they it's always according to your abilities, your medium, and your deadline. If you can meet those three things at a high quality, then you get onto different tiers.
Okay.
And there's a team of people, so they align you with the properties that suit you.
Right.
Right. So it's always interesting to watch how that unfolds, because you hear a lot of the artists saying, "Oh, I didn't get invited to that, but I've been doing this one instead." Or
Right.
some people got approved to do Disney through Tops, but some people didn't. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I can disclose it here on the stream. I mean,
Yeah.
I got accepted to do Disney, but
Yeah.
and it was crazy because I got the email, and in the email it said, "Hey, we saw that you'd be interested to do some Disney Pixar stuff, but the licensor wanted to see like you do some Disney Pixar stuff."
Yeah. Right.
So I sent them a couple paintings that I did a couple years ago. Actually, it
Right.
was like I did a painting of Luca
Right. Yep.
and his friend from the film. I think his name was Alejandro or something.
Yeah.
And those were painted, and I actually did those during one of my visits to Puerto Rico Comic Con for my cousin's kids who were like fans of Luca, right? Like she's got these twin boys.
Yeah.
So I did that for her, and I sent them an image of like Mickey Mouse sitting on a beach chair, like in the sand with some sunglasses and his like shoes off, so his toes were out and stuff.
Yeah.
Something fun, something lighthearted, right? And for the final piece, it was this this image of a client's daughters, right, who had just gone to go see the live action Little Mermaid.
Right.
And at the time that she commissioned it, like it had just come out, and she commissioned me to draw like her daughters as mermaids, right? But she wasn't very specific, so what I did was I painted them in the grotto, the underwater grotto with all the things.
Yep, that's cool.
Right, and all the things that were on the rocks were like Easter egg, like items that they would like understand,
right.
Little Easter eggs that they would pick up on.
Yep.
And I gave them the disclaimer. I was like, I did it in the Disney style, as per, the way the girls look, and tying it back to the Little Mermaid, and they totally dug it.
You did it in the animation style.
Right.
Yeah. That would have been cool. It'd be interesting to see what those first sets of Disney look like.
Yeah.
Stuff. So it'd be interesting to see. Because I saw some people posted some amazing applications to that, like to be part of it, and they got rejected. So I'd be keen to see what people come up with.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see what they.
You're one of them. Yeah.
What they had me do.
Yeah,
because it was like Disney Pixar. It's like to be, specific.
It'd be fun to do an Incredible. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Tila loves the gold. Tila loves the gold, doesn't she?
She loves it. She loves gold.
Gold everywhere.
Yeah, we can push a little bit in here. Just a little bit. I feel like this shadow in here is a little too intense. What do you think, Will? This inner thigh shadow here. Or should I like bring it more out? Oh wait, did we lose Will? His phone must have gotten hot. I feel like that shadow's like, I don't know, that shadow bothers me. We'll double back to that. And then push a little bit in here under her knees. Get a little bit around that shin and around the cat. That should do it. Let's get a little bit in there as well. We lost Iron Will Pladen. His phone must have gotten overheated. There we go. That feels a bit better, but that thigh shadow, I don't know. I feel like it should be a bit softer. Maybe drag it out a bit. Because it looks too much like a bruise. I'm just going to gently pull it out a little bit, soften the edges so that it doesn't look like a bruise in her inner thigh. So I want to get a nice cool shadow in here. That feels a little better. And then little circles, soften the edges. Much better. Man, I wonder what can happen to Will. That feels bad. Well, we've been at this for a little over 2 hours. So chances are he's having some technical difficulties on his end with his rig. So we'll give him a quick 10 minutes and see if he pops back on, if he gets his issues set up. And if not, then we'll call it and I'll say the goodbyes and so forth. And we'll be back next week. In the meantime, I want to get these shadows correct on these legs. I think I may have added too much Prussian blue. So no, it's fine. It's fine. Just because of how warm that local color is, she looks bruised. I think I'll come back over it with a bit of white to kind of soften it. So she doesn't look like she was beaten up. Let's see. Ah, there it is. That's good. A bit of that. A bit of the skin tone. A bit of the white. All right. I think that'll do it. All right. Well, it looks like Will's technical issues are relatively severe. So after I lay in this quick little layer of shadow on this thigh that's bothering me, we're going to call it here. And, we'll see you guys next week. And beforehand, I'll remind Will to charge his phone. All right, guys. So, on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm wishing that you guys have a great start to your work week, depending on, no, it doesn't matter. A little internet issue. We'll be back in a minute. Enjoy the week and see you next Sunday. I'll see you, Yvette. I'll see you guys. Be good. Enjoy the rest of you guys' weekend. And have a great start to the work week.